Hey, welcome back to Afrosport Now in Focus. And straight we head to the big talking point of the show today. And it's all about the impending transfer business still yet to be done. Of course, with the window closing very shortly. I mean, just a matter of days and less than weeks now. And of course, we've got to talk about this one as it pertains to even some of the best African stars that are yet to move and could still move. I mean, the likes of Victor Osimhen is still a big name that is talked about in the rumor mills. And to do this conversation is with me here in the studio, a football agent, Jubril Adamu. Great to have you on the show, Jubril.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and of course, let's get right into it. Victor Osimhen, I did mention now, we understand that Victor Osimhen is has been a name since even the conclusion of the outgone season and now. And Victor Osimhen, no doubt about his quality. There's been controversy around him lately. But where do you see him really ending now? I mean, we know that Chelsea and probably maybe Arsenal are two names mentioned. Paris Saint-Germain also in the race as well. But where do you see Victor ending at the end of the window?
I think that should be my personal opinion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
for me, at the end of the day, he might end up being in Napoli. He might end up there. He might end up in Serie A, because the fact here is that there are so more to do as a footballer, to be honest. I've been with kids that grew from a certain stage in football to that bigger level today. You know, no coach will want to have a player that will mess his dressing room. It's a fact. No coach. Whoever, let me tell you, before summer, last winter, he was on all the top club lists. You can testify that.
Oh, yes.
He was everywhere there. But, you know, don't let me use this word karma, but to be honest, we really, really need to be careful, because African, #1 player in Africa, the current African, this has never happened in the history of African football. You understand?
Yeah.
So probably my opinion here is that probably this difficulty we are facing in this market is probably because most of these coaches are avoiding a player that will come and mess their dressing room, not because of his quality, not because of the quality he's bringing into the team. But most top coaches now are being careful of how to manage their dressing room.
You say managing dressing room and controversy and all that. I think that managing egos like Victor Osimhen's is quite important also in top management. So why wouldn't these coaches want him?
Let me tell you this. When Pep came in, his early stage with Barcelona, remember he had to, some of the top players had to go. Deco, Eto, name them. When this is quite, is like what is in vogue now, mostly with the Spanish coaches. When Arteta came, he had to Lacazette had to go, Aubameyang, name them. They quickly trying to find, okay, fine, these big boys have to just go. Let me have people that I can control, and have my say over them. You understand? So right now, if you observe clearly, as it is right now, you could see there's tendency of, even at Chelsea right now, you are giving the young ones the opportunity to showcase. But the quality that you have, the top players, most of those coaches are trying to do away with them. And it's nothing. It has to do with you being in total control of your dressing room. It's key in modern football. It's not about how fit you are, what you can do on the pitch. He wants, you know, we all now should be talking, oh, no. Osimhen should be in Chelsea.
Well, sticking with Chelsea
that
now.
is exactly what they want.
Enzo Maresca said, look, we are going to take advantage of what opportunity comes for a top striker, because they need a striker. You saw the game against Manchester City, for instance. They created loads of chances, but no striker. Nicholas Jackson, unfortunately, couldn't put most of them away. Yeah. And they need a top striker.
I listened to Mikel Obi in one of his podcasts a couple of days back, and he said this: what we need right now is Osimhen. Because, yeah, maybe the technicality, not top-notch, but it's like a typical Haaland that when you have him in the middle of in the box, you know quickly you're going to get a goal. That's exactly what Osimhen is. But the clear thing here is we have to consider so many things. You can't spend over $100 million, pounds or euro, and you bring in that quality that you cannot contain. It's very critical. Whenever I go to a group of young upcoming stars, I said to them clearly, look, no matter how good you are today, if your coach cannot manage you, if your management cannot have a total say, imagine the moment the current coach of Napoli came in, he said the case of Osimhen is very clear. I know exactly, you know, He knows he's a top star. He knows he's going to get the result.
Yes.
Why are you giving up on time? He's trying to manage his dressing room. It's key in modern football.
Okay, let's move away from Victor now and talk about some other stars that are still on the move. We understand that on the list that we have, also there's Admiral Lukman, who is primed perhaps at this point to be in the running for CAF Player of the Year, and rightly so. I mean, look at the full complement of the list now, probably moving to Arsenal or Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain is a name that is not leaving. And what do you make of him moving to France now, playing for Paris Saint-Germain?
I think it's a good one for Lukman because his wages, talking about the weekly income and stuff like that, will definitely grow. Whether we like it or not, PSG is one of the top 5-6 clubs right now in Europe, when you go for European championships and so on. But above all, the mentality, he knows that, look, I have graduated from a certain level
to another. Yeah.
Thank you. Leaving Atlanta to PSG is a growth.
Absolutely.
And that will help him mentally. And look, I'm already there. So what's next? I don't know if you are getting it.
Sure.
So I think it's a good move for him. It's a good move for the nation. It's a good move towards him becoming the African Footballer of the Year. Fantastic fellow. I've made a contact with him in Abuja. And he's a very reserved individual. He doesn't talk much. But anytime he's on the pitch, you see that commitment. You know, it's very rare to see, you know, we have this group of UK guys in the national team, but Lukman is down to earth, believe me.
And you think this is key to his progression? Because he's risen through the ranks to where he is now.
You know, remember there was even a time he was loaned out of Everton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, played for Everton, played for Fulham.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know, for at a point, if you remember a few months back, Peter Crouch came out to say if only he was patient enough for him to say that this man is on top of it.
Absolutely.
Believe me. So I'll be very glad if that happens. I'll be for in terms of his growth, development, and that is the best for him right now. Arsenal, PSG, top notch. I believe he should go.
All right, let's move. Of course, Raheem Sterling is also on the list, and Raheem, we understand now things are not so good for him at Chelsea. The move to Chelsea has not worked out well after close to 2 years in London, moving from Manchester City now. And we are looking at the players and the teams that he could move to. It looks like a move further down. Aston Villa in the Champions League, but Crystal Palace, and there seems to be some level of retrogression for Raheem Sterling. I mean, it's a big player and you'd want more for him.
Yeah. I think Aston Villa will be a good move. Completely, they've changed to what we know to where they are right now. So moving to Aston Villa, still in terms of performance and the stage that the English football is right now, they're still on the same stage with Chelsea, you know.
Perhaps so, even ahead now.
Yes, you know, so I think moving from Chelsea to Aston Villa, for me, is a good one. It's a good move. But above all, my opinion on the other side is, don't you think the upcoming ones still need him around? If you still can, okay, fine, look, you're going to be here. You might not be having the 90 minutes as usual, but I need you for these upcoming ones and so on. I was expecting the coach to keep him for at least a season.
But he's not the exact opposite. Enzo Maresca has come out to say, look, I don't want this guy. He's not going to play at all. And they've even stripped him off his number 7 jersey. I think that's disrespectful.
Very, very. You know, these are some of the reasons why some players, whenever opportunity comes to them, like what Lukman is having right now with Atlanta, they were like, guy, let me just go. You know, this young man grew through the rank of the academy from QPR down to Liverpool to where he is today. Fantastic career. So if at this stage, despite the comments of the current Chelsea coach and a team like Aston Villa still wants him, I think it's still a big one. A big chance for him to revive his career as well.
Okay, let's still go back to the list now. We have Mikael Faye moving from Barcelona to Rennes in Ligue 1, and we also have Seko Kone, a young player who's moved to Manchester United all the way from Mali. And I think that deal is interesting. You look at both deals, and they are in the same, you know, echelon. When you consider what kind of deals they are. I mean, these are players that could go, you know, all the way and excel in their careers at top clubs.
You know, this young man here, let's watch out for him. You know, I pray he still, the consistency should be there. You know, the big thing that...
Are you talking about Seko Kone?
Yeah. You know, looking at it, this when a player at this very tender age leaves for Europe to a bigger club at the early stage, and if he's not able to manage the growth, it becomes a problem. For me, if I'm part of this deal, I would have advised he goes through the other, this Salzburg that came from Austria
Yeah,
for him.
Salzburg, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been the best move for now. Or probably, immediately after the signing, you can decide to just loan him out. You know, don't put that pressure. The English media is so crazy that if you are not being careful, you'll be able to contain it. Somebody already comparing Zinedine Zidane, the young dark midfielder and the Man U middle of the park, Mino, right?
Kobe Mino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're comparing such a player with Zidane already in terms of performance. You know, so if you're not being careful, they'll overrate you, and at the end of the day, that might even affect you on the field of play. Believe me. So I think the young man needs to get it done, but go on loan.
Okay, you know what, Jubril? We need to take a break here on Afrosport Night Focus. We'll return and we'll still keep talking about impending summer businesses of the top clubs in Europe. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well then, things are set to be interesting in the Bundesliga this season. Of course, Xabi Alonso and his gang, they did the unthinkable in the Bundesliga last season, winning unbeaten. And now it's all remaining to be seen if they could even manage to, mount a successful title defense. But we're still talking about impending summer business, and we'll look to wrap that up very quickly now. Of course, we still got some names on our list. And Jubril is still here as well. And of course, we are going to be seeing some of the names now. Maguire, Jadon Sancho, these are players that could still be on the move as well. Maguire's his transfer fee looks incredible, but he's a fantastic player, no doubt. We saw what he could do in the Euros. Jadon Sancho, controversy here and there, could still move to Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, you have to look at the name that's not leaving the tabloids in the UK, Manuel Ugarte, who could move to Manchester United pretty soon. But look, I think for Gay, his price tag is something to be discussed. We're talking about up to like £65 million as it's reported.
You know, that's the crazy thing with the English players, you know. They're overrated in terms of the price tag and name it. But for me, he had a fantastic tournament at the Euro.
Yes.
So I was expecting this. I was even expecting something far above this. So for me, for English defender, still within the Premier League, I think I was expecting this. So I think it's still within the rank.